Hello there, Hydrauliac here. Pressure compensation is one of the most difficult concepts in hydraulics to understand, so today I will try to break it down to the basics. Before we get into the schematic, there is an idea we need to understand. Every flow rate through an orifice has a specific pressure drop. If I have an orifice here and I have a flow rate of 10 liters per minute through it, it will have one pressure drop across the orifice. It doesn't matter what the up or downstream pressure is. If I have a flow rate of 10 liters per minute, I will have the same pressure drop. If I increase the flow rate to 20 liters per minute, it will have another pressure drop. This all seems pretty basic, but what it means for us is that if I can maintain a constant pressure drop across an orifice, I can maintain a constant flow rate as well. And that is exactly what a pressure compensator does. Let's take a look at the schematic to see how this is done. Here we have our inlet and outlet to the valve. This device will be modulating to set the flow rate we are wanting. But going back to our idea of pressure drop, to achieve a constant flow rate we need to be setting a constant pressure drop across an orifice. So here at our orifice we have a pilot line here to set the high pressure signal. This other pilot line is setting the low pressure signal. Together they will tell the modulating device the pressure drop across the orifice. It will modulate open and close, trying to keep the forces applied by the high pressure signal equal to the low pressure signal plus this spring. When the pressure drop is lower than our targeted value, that means our flow is also too low. When the pressure drop is low, the differences between the high and low pressures will be low. With the added force of the spring, the valve will modulate open to allow more flow. If the pressure drop becomes higher than our targeted value, the difference in pressures between the high and low signals will allow the high pressure side to overcome the forces of the low pressure signal and the spring to modulate the valve closed. The pressure compensator will be constantly modulating open or close to achieve the desired pressure drop. At first glance, it may seem that the spring is setting the flow rate. A lot of other hydraulic devices behave the same way, where the spring is setting whatever we are controlling. However, the spring is setting the pressure drop, not the flow rate. It is the orifice that is determining what flow you will have at that pressure drop. So to change the flow rate, you would change the size of the orifice. It is important to remember the pressure drop we talked about here is the pressure drop across the orifice, not the whole flow control valve. In reality, the pressure drop across the whole valve can be much higher than that of the orifice, depending on the pressure requirement of this function and the other functions in your system. But that is diving way deeper into things than I intended with this video. We will go over that as well as some other in-depth pressure compensation topics in future videos. As always, thanks for watching.